but they were able to obtain food from larger animals only by scavenging from what some other larger animal killed. Now, the bitter cold and subarctic temperatures of the fourth glaciation drove progressive Neanderthals of West Germany, France, Italy, and the Balkans to the warmer climate of the Sahara region in northern Africa. What is now the Sahara Desert, what is now the largest desert in the world, the Sahara, covering almost all of northern Africa. At that time, 110,000 years ago, it consisted of green, fertile plains with numerous lakes, streams, and abundant wildlife. So progressive Neanderthals in Europe, it was so cold there, they retreated and came to moved to the Sahara. And then they merged with Homo sapiens tribes of Africa. And within a 10,000 year period, everybody in northern Africa looked like modern Homo sapiens people. All around the Mediterranean Sea. And in, this is better. All around the Mediterranean Sea and in Palestine and Lebanon, all of these people look like Homo sapiens. And the ones in Lebanon and Palestine invented burins and blades. And I don't know what a burin is. And they invented woodwork. They were starting to do woodworking. And anthropologists call this the tool making, the Emerald tool making culture. Now, Pisidia was the administrative capital of the Kingdom of Atlantis. Now, Casey said that Pisidia was located near Bimini in the northwest section of the Bahamas. Now, the Bahamas are where? Right here, up here near Florida. Pisidia was in the warm Oblate region. Now, residents of Pisidia were the spiritual leaders and teachers of evolving H. sapiens people of the Kingdom of Atlantis. In other words, they were the ones who started Atlantis. They moved there. And they were trying to teach these people. Now, their goal was the evolution of new stars, suns, and co-creators. Now, in order to do that, they had to evolve or develop a larger brain, or the larger Neanderthal brain. That's why they wanted to merge with it. Look, this is Homo sapiens brain, and this is the Neanderthal brain. And although you can't tell, because there's all this part back here, this brain is much bigger. And that's what you're seeing throughout. First you had the little Lumanians and the Kenyapithecus, and then you had the Australopithecus, and then you had Homo habilis and Homo erectus, or Homo sapiens. The brain has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what they want. They want someone who can, that's what the gods want. Those are stars. They want someone who can radiate energy, who can think. Nobody wants a dumb co-creator. You know, you need to be able to think. No, we got enough problems now. So anyway, they had to evolve a larger brain. So now the Atlantean civilization centered on Pisidia. Casey said they used a white stone, which was called the Tuwa stone or the fire stone. They used this as the power source. The stone was the key element in the Atlantean civilization. It was used to concentrate and intensify specific light radiations from the cosmos. Now these are excerpts from Casey's readings, and I put the number and the date at the back of each one. Oh, I don't think I'll read that, but if anybody, that's the way you check them. At any rate, he put, in Atlantis, a priestess, a keeper of the white stone, or that through which many of the people, before the first destruction in Atlantis, kept their accord with the universal consciousness through speaking to and through those activities. It was in the form of a six-sided figure, in which the light appeared as the means of communication between infinity and the finite, or the means whereby they were in communication with those forces from which the energies radiated, or they were in communication with their makers. Casey stated that Atlanteans of Pisidia made great scientific advances, developing solar and sonar power between 212,000 and 70,000 years ago. He said there were not only the rays from the sun amplified by crystals, but were the combinations of these, for it was these gases that were used for what we call today the conveniences, as for heat, light, motivation, forces or radial activity, electrical combinations, thermal motivated forces of steam, gas, and the like. At any rate, he talks about how they had advanced science. Now, Toba, the super volcano of Sumatra, erupted 74,000 years ago. Thousands of square miles were covered with volcanic ash that was sometimes 0.5 to 2 feet deep. Now, reports state that the eruption caused catastrophic changes in the climate and killed plant and animal life across the globe. Fossils found in Asia include those of animals that died from Marie's disease. Now, worm Neanderthals were dominant in Asia, but they were dying in the ice fields, especially after Toba erupted. And worm Neanderthals, who had the most intense Java Australoid heritage, expanded as tribal leaders or shaman. Shamanism developed, especially among the nomads of Central and Northern Asia. And shamanism was a belief in guardians, ancestral spirits who guided primitive man on the voyage to the beyond, or to the future. And it also concerns metamorphosis, or changing, having to change people as a means of evolving into the future. Now, shamanism, you heard of the priest or the shaman of the tribe, and they established totemism. Now, you've seen the totem poles in Alaska, and sometimes the Indians have totem poles. Okay, this is the same sort. This is all one thing. Totemism was largely the lifestyle or tribal laws and customs of Kubifora, Australoid tribes, or Simopithecus baboons. So what they were really doing was establishing that same, the baboons marched in order, ate in order, they were just establishing the same thing. So totemism is described as part of a tribal survival system. It was and is largely found among hunting communities. Now, the word totem originally meant his brother, sister, kin, and it signified a blood relationship between brothers and sisters who had the same mother and therefore were not to mate and breed with each other. Now, in the beginning, the totem was chosen based on the animals that lived in the area. Now, in other words, this animal lives in your area, you get to hunt this area, so this animal. Now, the totem determined the migratory route or territorial hunting grounds for each class or family, and the totem established tribal hierarchy. For example, now the cave bear lived all over the ice fields. Wherever it wandered was the cave bear's territory. Now, the cave bear totem was that of the dominant or ruling worm Neanderthal tribe. They could hunt the territory of a cave bear. Now, a large number of caves contain worm Neanderthal tools and bear bones. A cave in Switzerland contains several bear skulls that set up in an arrangement of stone slabs, indicative of some kind of ritual or worship. Now, the head or chief of each clan or tribe was identified with the totem animal. Sometimes they would take, like if it was a bear, they would take the bear's skin and drape it over their head, with the bear's head right over theirs. And the tribe's survival depended upon the chief's ability to know the totem's strength, weaknesses, and reactions in interaction with other animals. Now, totemism classified all members of the tribe as relatives, and it established rank and ratings based on heredity or physical dominance, meaning the ability to fight, membership in various cliques or groups, who you were friends with, and the performance of ritual tasks and functions. If you could do something that nobody else could do, you were rated higher than anybody else. Now, Shaman directed Were Neanderthal attacks against the people of Atlantis. They came down from the ice fields. The earth was updoming again, and they had a passageway. They entered lowland regions by a narrow pass through mountains of Lebanon near Nazareth. Now, anthropologist Jacquetta Hawkes stated that were Neanderthals and fully modern Homo sapiens represent two valid evolutionary trends that were in conflict during the last glaciation. So now, the Galilee skull dates from 70,000 years ago and is a fossil of an adult Neanderthal found in a cave near Lake Tiberias, that's in Palestine, near Galilee. Fossils of 2 adults and 2 children dating from 70,000 years ago were found in Ahmad Cave near Tiberias, Israel. They were classified as Neanderthals, but some anthropologists state that they were Neanderthals. Now this is Skull Cave right here. See that opening? Okay, Skull and Tabon Cave are 2 adjacent caves in the Mount Carmel region of Israel.